Hey guys, this is part 2 to our match between yellow Alice, Eugeo and Kirito and green Sinon and Kirito. Here we are rolling again to see who goes first. So I rolled a 5 and she rolled a 16. So she picked to go second this time. Here we are cutting our decks. So let's get into it. So off the bat, no zeros, so I have to mulligan once again. Let's see what we get next. Alright, we have a 0 and a 1, so we can start with this. I don't believe she mulligans, so I just have to reshuffle my deck.
So I go first this time, so I just set a 0 drop Eugeo. His when played allows you to add 1000 BP to someone else, which I really like using this card to combo with the 4 drop Kirito 2 action. Next, I put the 1 drop Alice down and the 2 cost Tisei. Having that early game is really important for setting up. It makes raiding a lot easier, and it just sets you up for energy. You can just let that sit in the back, and if needed, you can push it up as a blocker. And here is that Kirito early, taking the first life, which was no trigger. So I passed the turn. So I tap draw, and here I use the combo, giving Kirito up to a 4500. Makes it a lot harder for him to be blocked. And then I raid on the Alice, which allows me to sideline a 4K or less. Now that I have Eugeo and Alice on the front line, I can swing twice. He only gains double attack when both of them are on the front line. And here she hits a special on the second trigger, so she sidelines my Kirito. And I pass the turn. She also was able to grab a Sinon raid from her life, so I'm just waiting for that to be played. Sinon, the green deck has a lot of drawing and looking at the top and adding it back on the top or bottom. A lot of searchers too. So she's just going through and doing her when plays. And here is that Sinon raid. She will most likely snipe my Alice on the front line. This matchup is definitely tough. Having snipe with the green deck does mess my yellow deck up a lot, especially because there are certain requirements that I need to make all of my cards powerful and do certain things like the Kirito. So let's see how this plays out. Here she uses her special on the other Sinon card, which gives the other one snipe, so she will essentially wipe out my front line, and I will at least be taking 1 life this turn. And I hit a Eugeo raid from life. Usually when a raid doesn't have any when plays, I will raid it from life because it's essentially a free play. So here I am doing my turn. Not a lot to do with the hand that I have. So I first play the 3-drop, which allows you to look at the top 5 and pull up to 2 Kiritos, Alice, or Eugeos, or you can pick one of either character. So here I grab 2 of the 3-drop Alices. These are great for energy to get your Alice raid up or to push up to the front line if you have a Kirito and a Eugeo. I think actually, or a Eugeo on your front line. This gains 1,000, so she becomes a 4K. So here I raid the Alice. Since Eugeo is the only one on my front line, I could sideline a 3000 or less. And then I go and use my special to kill the Sinon. So this deck does have good combos with removal, but it needs a little extra oomph, or if you're just hitting those combos, they really work out. So this deck is definitely 50-50. It'll be interesting to see what it's like with not just SAO decks right now, and see what it's like with other decks like One Punch Man, Bleach, a bunch of other stuff. So we'll see how this deck holds out in the meta. And here comes that Kirito raid. This raid is probably one of the best raids in the deck. It does cost a lot. It is 7 energy to raid, but it does have damage to impact 1, and it does, I believe, buff your other characters, like just like the Sinon, and it can't be targeted by abilities, which is really interesting. So that's going to be annoying on the front line. And I believe here next she raids the Sinon, which she refills her front line after I just removed everything. But she does have 1 life, so she's basically just trying to hold on. So let's see how this plays out. So here she snipes the Eugeo. When Eugeo is sidelined, he gives 1,000 to either an Alice and Kirito on the front line and nullify impact. So she is now 5,000, and she's just doing her when attacking with Sinon. I do take the damage 2 here. It makes the most sense. Kirito is a 5k, so I can't block him. Both triggers gave me something to add to my hand. And then right here I hit a special trigger, so I do get rid of the Kirito. He can't be targeted by abilities, but he can be targeted by triggers, so he gets removed. And my Alice blocks an attack, and now I do still have something on my front line for next turn. So by next turn, I'm hopefully going to end the game, and that's what I'm going for. I'm going for the win here. So I was able to get the Kirito up. Now I'm mostly just deciding whether I want to use a special or put the Eugeo up unrated, which will allow my Kirito to have 2 swings. The only issue with that is since he is a 3500, he can be blocked. So I believe, yep, I just used the special to get rid of the Sinon. So she will live one more round. So let's see how this plays out. At this point, she is burned out, so she does just take her life. There is no final. And then I just play what I would have to actually end the game. But yeah, so it ended in a win for yellow this time. She did get me in part 1. And thank you for watching. And if you want more videos like this where I actually play matches, leave a comment. Thanks.